Klay Thompson was introduced today as a Dallas Maverick. Words I never thought I would say into this microphone, but these are the days that we're in right now.
Yep. That's going to be weird.
He is a Dallas Maverick. This is what he had to say about joining the Mavericks and breaking up the, if you will, big three in Golden State.
Probably a little disappointed at first, but then as time goes on, you have a lot of time to reflect and you realize what you did. They can't take that away from you as far as the championships records are meant to be broken, but the impact you have on a community and all that, that will forever live. And sometimes, breakups are necessary to do what's right. And I'm not the first athlete in the NBA to go through this. I did grow up in Portland, and I remember when Scottie Pippen came to the Blazers, that was like the biggest day of my life. And I'm not saying I'm Scottie, but they were right there against the Lakers, almost won a chip. So I take a lot of inspiration from past athletes and how their careers might have gone, astray when they either left the team or joined a new team. And some guys thrive, and I look forward to just kind of being rejuvenated here and playing a lot of good basketball left in the tank.
He is kind of the Scottie Pippen of that dynasty run, don't you think?
Interesting.
Like Curry's the Jordan and
kind of,
Draymond's the Horace Grant?
That makes sense.
Or the Rodman?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's pretty funny. I was wondering who's going to wear number 11, because Kyrie wears 11, and we know Klay wore 11 all those years. It's going to be retired at Golden State. Klay new number next year.
Yeah.
Probably so.
I doubt Kyrie's changing his.
I would, and I don't think Kyrie would change if we're going to go down this rabbit hole. Wouldn't you think that Klay wants a total fresh start, totally new, right?
Probably,
just based on that soundbite as well.
I think you're right.
And I sure hope there's a lot of left in the tank, because if the Splash Brother Klay shows up in Dallas, that'll be a lot of fun to watch next year.
That's a complicated 6-team trade too, to get him to Dallas. There's a lot of moving parts to make that happen.
So Klay is now a Dallas Maverick, and the question is who's going to be the next repeat champion in the NBA or dynastic team in the NBA? And Steph Curry told ESPN, I think in a one-on-one with Malika Andrews, the answer is nobody. That the way things go in the NBA these days, that there will not that the Golden State Warriors of Curry, Klay, Draymond, and then the rest of the time with Durant, and prior to Durant, Andre Iguodala, right? Mm-hmm. Harrison Barnes. That run that also finished up post-Durant a couple years ago with a shocking NBA championship with Andrew Wiggins being at the forefront, that these days are over. This is what Curry had to say.
I don't think so. I mean, obviously, defining a dynasty can take a lot of different looks, but the reason to add on what Coach has said, like, people thought this was over in 2019 when Klay tried to get back on defense with a messed up knee, and we lost that series, and then had a rough year that next year. Like 22 was an amazing championship because we defied the odds and kept things together, and we were trying to maintain that for these last two. So you think that's 11 years or almost 12 years of championship relevancy built around a certain core, knowing what KD was, for those 4 years as well. So a long-winded way of saying I don't think so. It's just because it's very hard to keep things together in this league. There's a lot more player movement. Me, Klay, and Draymond especially, we complemented each other so well for so long. We all brought something different to the table, so we'll see. Records are meant to be broken. Dynasties come all different shapes and sizes, so we'll see.
TJ, I agree with Steph Curry. Don't you agree with Steph Curry?
I mean, the stats say he's right.
Right?
We haven't seen it since he was the last team to.
Well, back-to-back.
Back-to-back.
And then having something that lasts, 10, 12 years over the span and have 4 championships in that time.
It's tough. They went to 6 finals.
I'd have to agree with him.
I know you and I are probably in agreement, but
Chris, what do you think?
Here might agree.
There's literally about to be a dynasty next year, and the year after, and the year after, and the year after that. Like, what are we talking about?
You can't pay 2 guys $600 million.
Did he just talk about a 5, Pete?
Literally, the history of the NBA is only dynasties. So what does he mean there's never going to be another dynasty? Of course there is.
Of course,
Dynasties
there will be.
are great
there
for
haven't
sports.
been, but there
Guess
haven't
what?
been.
We were never going to see.
aprons.
We were never going to
Aprons.
see another dynasty in the NFL like the Patriots. Oh, I'm sorry. We're having one right now with the Chiefs. Like, what? This is just look at me ego talking.
Oh,
It's like, come on, man.
Steph Curry, look at me,
Of
ego.
all
Those are
people,
words that are not normally
Steph
associated
Curry,
with Steph
ego?
Curry.
A lot of people have a
Got that?
thought of Steph that they don't really.
Look
know
at this
the real
guy.
guy. I'm
This
just
guy.
saying.
Come
like,
at the Celtics.
come
You
on,
best
man.
not miss.
Man, it's not going to happen.
They're literally bringing the whole team back for the next 3 years. They're not going to get another one.
Aprons, there's aprons. There's issues with aprons.
How you
The
paying
first
two guys
apron
$600
and a
million?
second apron. You're reading how the
cares?
second apron really hamstrings you in the moves you can make.
Aprons.
The team that he was on was the most luxury tax team in the history of the NBA. So yeah, that's how you keep a dynasty together and keep a team together for a long time. You got to have ownership, willing to pay.
Didn't we think that the Nuggets were going to be one of
That's what I
that
said
team?
earlier.
Like, and this year things
Who
happened
thought-
with the Nuggets.
Who thought that?
Everybody, you can't
come on.
say at the end of the series last year, you didn't sit there and think, man, this Nuggets team's going to be a problem.
Jokic even won MVP again, and they still didn't win it.
Guess what? The Nuggets could win the title next year, and now we're talking about a Denver dynasty.
But, Chris, the thing that does kind of give you weight there, the fact is the Nuggets did lose. You know, they lost Bruce Brown.
Yeah, they
and
lost.
now
They lost a bunch of
KCP.
really key players.
You have it like
The Celtics are now loaded.
Luke
Look,
Cormet. Was that his name? Like he was the very first free agent that was signed?
The guy who's got more NBA Finals points than Joel Embiid.
Oh, my God. So you would take him in an open draft, open gym. You would take Luke over. Embiid?
I'd rather take the guy with the championship ring.
Okay, bet. I hope my team's playing yours. Then.
Well, listen, this guy, as we all know, is riding high.
Yeah.
And as a Michigan Wolverine,
You're riding high.
I'm riding high, and so I appreciate him riding as high as he's doing right now.
Guys, there were 5-year-old kids in
man.
Boston who had never seen a parade.
Bleep them kids.
Well, I mean, and again, you
Think of the
see,
kids.
you see Jaylen Brown becoming what he's become, and you see Jason Tatum and Jrue Holiday becoming who he has become, and
Hall of Famer now.
Porzingis doing what he's doing, and Horford's coming back, and all of that. And then there's the fact that there's no question in my mind a future Boston Celtic. His name is Cooper Flagg.
How are they going to get Cooper Flagg?
If he was born,
the ghost
if there
of
was,
Red Auerbach
if
is
there
gonna pull
was
some
anybody
trade.
born to be a Boston Celtic,
But if they're going
it
to
kind
go
of
on
feels
a
like it's
5-year
Cooper
run,
Flagg.
How
And-
could you get him possibly?
and
it
I
can't
think
happen.
Team USA already knows that, so they decided to give Jrue Holiday as close a look at Cooper Flagg as he possibly could get in a scrimmage. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.